Hello, beautiful. Today's yoga flow is going to be super short and sweet. Today is all about tuning in and tuning out the outside world. So let's go ahead and grab the mat and let's flow. So let's go ahead and get started by sitting in a comfortable seated position. Perhaps our legs are crossed. Again, always finding your own degree. And we're just going to go ahead and place our hands onto our knees and just do a couple of what I like to call coffee grinders. So we're going to inhale forward and exhale back. This is giving a nice little massage to our bottoms. It's giving an internal massage to our organs. All good things. Again, inhaling forward and exhaling back. Switch opposite direction. Pushing out through that chest, concaving into that thoracic spine, giving nice, beautiful stretch. So good for those of us who are sitting at desks for long periods of time. Finding stillness here, and we're going to go ahead and find a modified cat-cow. We're going to inhale, chest goes to the sky. Exhale, release. Allowing your breath to guide the movement. Inhale forward, exhale as you release. Inhale forward, holding the breath for just a count. Exhale, release. Holding the breath out. Inhale to neutrality. Inhale, both arms up to the sky. Exhale, release. Our right hand's going to come down to the ground, floating that left up and over, opening up that side body. Gaze can either go down to the ground or float up to the sky, whatever feels right for you. And then we're going to go ahead and switch opposite direction, finding that own degree of what feels right for you, energy through those fingertips so we can really find that extra length within the body. Again, really being mindful of what feels right for your neck. What works for one body doesn't necessarily work for the other, and that's the beauty of yoga. It's our opportunity to uncover what feels right for us. Inhale, we're just going to find a little bit of dynamic flow here. So we're just going to reach up and over, opposite direction. And you might notice that I'm going a little bit deeper each time. Now maybe that feels right for you, maybe it doesn't. So just finding what feels like that nice, beautiful stretch in the body. Beautiful. And inhaling, both arms up to the sky once more. Exhale, release. We're going to keep our sit bones down to the ground so they're glued into the ground. And I'm just going to allow the crown of my head to start floating to the ground, opening up the back of those hips. And exhale, rolling on up. Turning now to the front of the mat here, finding this nice tabletop position. We're going to place our left hand in the center of the mat, releasing our right hand up to the sky. Find this beautiful expansion opening, and then we're going to thread the needle for a nice shoulder stretch. So my right hand comes underneath, and I'm just going to allow that shoulder to float onto the ground. Breathing nice and deep here. My booty is up to the sky. I have my toes untucked. And breathing nice and deep. Inhale, rise. Right hand comes to the center of the mat. Release the left, flying open. Exhale, threading it on through. Taking 3 deep breaths here. Wonderful. Coming on up, coming back into that tabletop position, tucking the toes here. We're going to draw up the knees just for a moment here, and perhaps finding a gentle sway as we test the balance. And when we're ready and feeling confident here, we're going to go ahead and send those hips up to the sky. And we're going to walk the dog, so we're just paddling out the feet here. Feeling that stretch in the back of the hamstrings, back of the calves. And what we're going to do here is we're actually going to put all of our weight into the right foot, and my left foot is just going to gingerly tap the back of that foot here. I'm going to send the weight through my shoulders, really pushing in here, opening up those fingertips. Again, going to your own degree. So this could be any variation if you want to have both feet on the ground, if you want to bend slightly. Whatever feels right for you. Switch, go ahead and allow that left foot to plant into the ground, gingerly touching the right to the back, and then sending that energy through those shoulder blades. Our goal with the downward dog here is to create an upside down V. And release, touching both heels into the ground if you can, otherwise creating a little bit of a shorter stance or bending those knees. Finding your own degree. And when we're ready, we're going to go ahead and allow our gaze to go to the top of the mat, and we're going to walk nice and slow to the top of the mat. And if it's in our practice, we can slowly draw our 2 feet together. This is going to take a little bit more balance for you. Otherwise, if you like, you can have them a little bit more apart, about shoulder distance. Inhale our hands up, and we're going to come into chair pose. So in chair pose here, we're going to sink down into the body here, and my toes are light, so I could almost even curl up the toes. And I'm going to round in, pulling in at my tailbone, and then I'm going to exhale, and I'm just going to allow my hands to sweep to the right side. Inhale up, allow my hands to sweep to the opposite side. And just imagine that we could release this nice, beautiful moment of just letting go. Inhale, rise, exhale, release. Inhale, rise, exhale, release. Building a little bit of warmth in those legs and letting it go. Inhale, holding up. Really pulling down those shoulder blades, fingertips, energy to the sky. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful job. Swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, root to rise. Hands come up overhead. And exhale, down through heart center. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, exhale, release. And what we're going to go ahead and do here is we're going to heel toe our feet out about shoulder distance apart. My toes are going to go to either corner of the mat, and I'm going to draw my bottom down, and I'm going to find Malasana. So I can have a block here or a pillow if this is a bit too intense for you. And then what we can do is take our 2 elbows to press out those knees. And just taking a few deep breaths here. This is first variation. If you'd like to take it for a little bit more of an intense stretch, we can release the right palm to the ground, opening up with our left. Feeling that nice, beautiful expansion of the chest. Switch, coming on through, allowing those left to come open, right flies up to the sky. And exhale, release, coming back one more moment, opening up, feeling that release of the hips, stretching of that spine, breathing nice and deep. And release, placing our hands onto the mat. Go ahead and press up. And we're going to place our hands down nice and flat, stepping back into a downward dog. And we're going to roll into a high plank. And we're going to challenge ourselves here. So we're going to go ahead and lower nice and slow. My elbows are coming in, and if you're like, no way, you can definitely lower down your knees, finding your own degree as we go down, 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 flat, untucking the toes, placing your 2 hands on either side here, untucking the feet, and go ahead and rise up to baby cobra, drawing down those shoulder blades, pulling them in, elbows in at your side. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise. Perhaps finding a little bit more length each time. Exhale, release. Last time. Inhale. Drawing in those elbows, pulling down the shoulder blades. Exhale, release. Beautiful. And then we're going to go ahead and draw up, tucking the feet underneath us here, coming back onto our bottom. And we're going to go ahead and roll down, rolling side to side. Allowing our left foot to come onto the ground, right is going to come on top, and we're going to pull through, finding a reclined pigeon. And if it's a little bit too tight here and you feel this is a little bit too much of a stretch, you can come to the hamstring instead. Again, always finding that degree that feels right for you. You might notice energy is extending out from my toes. And what we're going to do is go ahead and allow those knees to drift over to that left side. We can cactus our arms if we like. Gaze can float in the opposite direction if it feels good. Drawing on up. Switch opposite direction. This time my left is coming on top. Inhale, interlace, grabbing at that hamstring or at the shin, whatever feels right. Energy going through those toes. This should feel real sweet on the back of those hips. And when you're ready, let's go ahead and release, allowing the knees to float to the opposite direction this time. Cactus those arms and gaze to the opposite direction. Drawing in, and then go ahead, bring both knees into your chest, drawing your head up and squeezing everything tight as you can. Squeeze, 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 squeeze your face, your tummy, your hands. Exhale, release. Shoom. Finding a brief moment of Shavasana here, releasing any tension, drawing the shoulder blades in, opening up the chest. And if you have additional time, I really suggest just staying here for 3 to 5 minutes, just allowing yourself this opportunity to let all of that yummy movement just echo and sink into the body. Taking a big deep breath. When you're ready, rolling onto your side, slowly finding a comfortable seated position. Thank you so much for joining me. This is a very quick flow, but just enough to get us back into recentered and alignment. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next time on the mat.